from week 2 to week 3?
Yeah, definitely.
Or game 2 to game 3?
Definitely better, a lot better communication, stuff like that. That we all played pretty well. Obviously, there's stuff to clean up, a couple sacks, a couple missed assignments, but I'm pretty happy with how we played, and I think we're kind of clicking together and starting to understand how we play, and I'm really happy about it.
What happened to make that happen?
It's kind of little things. You see, watching film together and stuff like that. I think that's the biggest thing. Kind of the biggest thing Coach Miller says: check your egos at the door, and I think that's really important. Don't be afraid of anybody coaching you, or whether it's player or coach, and just kind of seeing the little things and kind of just keep improving on it every single day. And I think it clicks eventually.
There's always talk about experience with offensive line.
Yeah.
Was there an aspect to this that only time can solve it?
I think time definitely does solve it. Obviously, Isaiah, me, Zai, 3 games, new positions. Julian, 3 games. And Pihlstrom, went 50-something. So I think he could definitely tell you that he definitely had a learning curve freshman year, and just I think he got better every single game. I think that's what's going to happen to us, just improving every single game.
Is that communication? Like, do you feel that in the course of a game, or do you get to the locker room at halftime or after and it's like, oh, that was better than it had
Yeah,
been?
I think the biggest thing that we may have struggled with last week, it's when we come to the sideline, it's not about whose fault it was, stuff like that. It's talking about it and saying, what did you see and how did you see it and what we could do differently. It's not just yelling at each other like, oh, you missed this block, stuff like that. And I think that's a big improvement we had from game 2 to game 3. Just kind of just learning off each other and just being positive with each other. I think that's the biggest thing.
Just kind of with Isaiah, I know Coach Pihlstrom talked about kind of him having a mean streak on the field.
Yeah.
What's that like being next to him and seeing him being kind of so different?
Yeah, I kind of have to tell him to be careful sometimes because it can't. Being aggressive is good, but and I'm glad he's probably one of our most aggressive guys on this team. Just has to be careful with the penalty. We know that. I had 2 the first game. He had 2 third game. So just being careful with that. Controlled anger, if you want to say that's what it is. But I mean, you'd rather have that way than try to fire him up every single game. So just seeing him next to me every game, it like gives you confidence, and him finishing guys every game. It's like, okay, like let's go.
Did you think the zone stuff would come together as quickly as it has in the run game? That's a
Definitely
change from what you guys have been doing.
Yeah, so I think it's good that we have kind of the same schemes from the year 1 to year 2, but definitely with new guys who weren't here last year, it is kind of that learning and just definitely guys in different positions too. I mean, Jordan's done a hell of a job from right guard to left guard, so just kind of knowing who you're playing with and how different he could be from somebody else. Isaiah's done an incredible job, left guard.
Barry kind of mentioned you're using the bye week to maybe kind of implement a little bit more power that you
Yeah.
had before.
Yeah.
And maybe get you out on the perimeter a little bit like Doug used to.
Yeah,
last
I
year.
think-
is that in the bag?
Yeah, I think for me in the perimeter, that's something that you definitely have to just work on and see in practice because it's not gonna come easy to you. Like nothing's like the game rep. Doug was really good at that, going around the corner and perimeter. So I definitely just have to get reps at that, and I'm excited to get out of perimeter a little bit more.
Was there a moment with Isaiah where you were like, because you just met him
Yeah.
recently, where you
Yeah.
were like, oh, maybe because he's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
When you saw it on the field, you're like, oh, like he
The
does.
first game, he started talking. I'm like, "Where's this been?" I have not met this guy since spring, so it kind of comes out in the game. He's usually pretty nice off the field, so it definitely was a little weird hearing it the first time, but it's definitely refreshing to hear it and just extreme confidence from him. So
How do you guys balance, like, you've done good things
Yeah.
offensively, but then also just those shortcomings, be it the turnover. Like, how do you balance wanting to celebrate and understand that we've shown glimpses, but also there's still more on the table?
yeah, the whole thing. We can celebrate all we want, but like to be where we want to be, we have to get better in that and just keep working on that. It's you do want to celebrate. It's just hard to overlook the bad things, and you just want to keep improving on it every single day. And I think that's just we saw good things, but to be one of the top offenses in the country, we got to correct those things. And I think we're on our way to that.